record. Are you going to court? Because some of your co-aspirants, not in your senatorial district, other parts of Nigeria, under the same party, NDC, a few of them personally, have gone to court. They're in court, alleging one form of grievance or the other against the same process that you just described. So, are you also going to court?
I won't go. If I go to court and we mess up the system, how is Peter Obi going to emerge? He's my focus, and my eyes are on the ball. You see, I'm working with a team in the presidential campaign. I'm sure I'm going to work with the electoral committee. So we have a team there that we are developing the app we have every day. That's going to be more superior to that of INEC. That's my focus. So we don't talk about they didn't. Well, I won't be blaming the officials.
So you're not leaving the party also?
No way. But if Peter Obi leaves tomorrow, I will take a walk. Yeah.
Okay, so you are there essentially
yes.
to deliver Mr.
Absolutely.
Peter Obi as president
Absolutely.
of Nigeria. Okay.
Absolutely. So I will not do anything to harm that vision and dream.
Okay. Let's. I don't want us to flog this, since you're very upfront about what your ultimate objective is, and I think that is something that is truly commendable. The attempts to deregister the National Nigerian Democratic Congress, your party, the same Lokoja High Court that ruled that the party should be registered December last year, 2025, turned around June this year to say, there was an association, peace movement, whatever, came and said, your party used their logo and all of those. And the judge, Issa Dashan, suddenly ruled. What do you have to say about this?
The truth is, how can a high court give judgment and then turn around again and give another judgment? The same court, the same judge.
Yes.
I think they should have been appealed. They should have appealed that judgment to an appellate court. But I know nothing will come out of it. But I also know people say, why is everybody, you have not done due diligence, you have not done what you ought to do. That's talking about the opposition now, parties, that you are blaming the party in government. But we've never had it like this. That all the opposition parties have crises. The ones that have meaningful or people that can possibly harm this government one way or the other, they all have issues. Yesterday I was reading about the SDP where they were in the news. They have case. I mean, the what's it called? The national chairman now, he was celebrating a judgment by a high court. A high court. The person you defeated can still go to Court of Appeal and then go to Supreme Court. So it might be a week to the election. The Supreme Court will give judgment and they will tell INEC, okay, the ballot paper, make sure, okay, well, of course, you don't have pictures there. Change this person's name to that. So what they're trying to do, from my own thinking, what I can conclude, is that they want to cast doubt in the minds of people. That's the party in government working with the judiciary. Cast doubt in the mind of the people that these political parties that you are supporting might not even feed a candidate. So don't waste your time, come and work for us. Or don't even bother voting. That's what they are trying to do. And it's very unfortunate. The last time I was talking about these individuals, those in power now, 1999, 1998, what was their net worth? What were they doing? If we follow what the president today claims to be his age, he will probably be in his 40s in 1999. We heard he went on exile, came back, and was living with Senator Buckner, Kerele Buckner or something. If you had a mansion before you went on exile, when you come back, will you not go to your mansion and receive everybody? But you were squatting. Through the benevolence of Lagosians and other people, you became a governor. Okay, forget about him. Even Akume, the secretary to government. I know a friend of mine that was very close to him. I heard the day they were going for primaries. I think it was in 98 or so, or 99, before the elections. There's a guy, I think they had a car, they said they would push and start. The guy, their opponent came from Lagos, and they said the guy came with a lot of money. This same secretary of government today, the guy told me, said they should go back. Maybe we should just go back and not. And that guy asked him, what's wrong with you? Go back. Say the people will kill us. Let's go. If we fail, we fail. And that's how he got the ticket and became governor. I'm not saying he's a bad person. Talk about my dear leader, Agbaja. How old was he? So Akume will probably be in his late 30s then. But maybe late 30s, when 1999 I'm talking about now. So for you to get there today and you have removed the ladder, I'm saying this because how many people in their 40s today are hopeful, considering where these individuals were then, and say I can become a governor without having several billions, or become a House of Rep member without having so much money, or a senator. So we just want them to allow the system raise young and vibrant people. And for the young people, if these guys were in their 40s or in their 30s when they became governors and senators and all that, today you can't get there. And if you are there wasting your time supporting them, I just want to let you know that it's a club. They are turning this whole thing to a club. If you don't belong to that club, you cannot aspire for anything in this country. So wake up. Wake up and take out this menace. And let's have a country we can all call ours. A country where, like Peter Obi keeps saying, where the child of a nobody can become somebody in this country. And that's my dream and that's my vision.
You said quite a couple of very strong, points. Now, let's look at the issue of your comment about the young people in their 30s and 40s, who are playing the role of bag carriers. But, Honorable, are you sure you're not speaking to a situation where, in the English parable, you're addressing the stable when the horses are bolted?
Well, I hope not. The earlier we realize where we are and where we are going to, the better for everybody. Because let me even use this opportunity to talk to the elites across board, political, business, military, across board,
Traditional, religious,
everybody. When was the last time you took your driver for a check? Or maybe your gardener, or maybe your housekeeper, or your chef, or anybody? If you haven't done that, just try and do that for your own sake.
When you say check, medical checkup or what?
Medical or anything.
Any other check, okay.
See, because mental health is real in Nigeria. And most of these people are on drugs right now, on alcohol, because of the hardship. How much can you possibly pay this category of people? Can anybody earning something from business or even in government, can you afford to pay a driver 1 million naira? A driver that has 5 children and 1 wife, maybe 2 relatives living with them? Or if it's 3 children with a wife. For an African home, you must have 1 or 2 relatives living with you. How much can you possibly pay such a man? So most of them are not meeting up. And they have resorted to taking hard drugs and alcohol. For their own sake, let them just run a test. They will thank me later. For their own sake. So if you think you're in government, you are amassing so much money, that young man driving you, just take him for a test. And you see what will come out. That might save you. That might save your family. So to come back to the young people, I also know, we have this I pass my neighbor mentality in Nigeria. So as long as I am getting something here today, I don't care. At least I'm better than the guy I went to school with. I'm better than my next door neighbor. But 50 years down the road, 30 years down the road, what will become of you? Like we were saying earlier. Those that were in politics 1979 to 2003, as much, they were making money. Some stole money, some worked genuinely and retired or whatever. If they have put something in place for everybody, for example, health insurance. So when you are 60, you are a senior citizen. Health insurance for you, free health care. If you have good bus services, you ride for free and all. Today, some of them are begging. They can barely feed. That would not have been the situation. But that I passed my neighbor mentality was there then. Maybe they had a couple of houses here and there. They had some money in the bank and they felt they were good. Some of them have sold those houses. Others are dead. Their children sold those houses. So the point is, do the right thing today so that you don't regret tomorrow. So if today you believe you are running around a politician, you are getting 1 naira or 2 naira, and you are better than the other person, for how long would that take you? So one illness. For those working in INEC, they don't even pay them well anyway. So election is a bazaar. That's when they get their money. So if you think today I'm going to make a lot of money from a politician and all that, one evening, not even cancer or anything. All that money, you spend it on it. But have good healthcare system that will cater for all. You might not have to travel that road. The government will be there with you. And that's what we talk about. They say, no patriotism in Nigeria. Where is it going to come from? Somebody's parents, father, mother, are not well. They are in their 60s, their 70s. And you have to carry all that burden. The drugs you can afford to buy here are fake drugs. And your parents will die. Now you are alone. Maybe to cater for your young ones. By virtue of the UBEC Act, you have primary to
secondary.
to GS3 is free and compulsory. But we are going to check the state of the schools. So with all this, how are you going to cope? So the point we are making, for once, just do the right thing. And let us vote for, let's have free, fair, credible election. So that we can let the politicians know. So that we can let them know that if you don't do the right thing, we will vote you out. Till we are able to do that, politicians will continue to take you for a ride. Because they will use any means to get there. But if they know that it's by your vote they got there, they will respect you. And they know that when they will know that when they don't do well, you can send them out. So I will appeal again. It's not too late, and nothing is impossible. If anybody is telling you that, we have already written this election, we have result, or we have won, it's a lie. They haven't. They haven't. So let's come together.
Let's interrogate this further, my brother. I like your energy, your passion. Gen Zs will say energy, so I like your optimism. You are very optimistic about the system that we're still able to change. We're still able to effect positive change. Some don't think it's possible. That's why I use the metaphor of the horse bolting from the stable.
You see, now we have to encourage us. Like the Bible says, David encouraged himself
in the Lord.
Romans 5:5
Okay.
says, hope make it not ashamed, for the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts. So I can only hope and believe.
But the evidence on ground does not give so much hope. Is the door not shut against good people, people of conscience, people of capacity, people of patriotism? Is the door not permanently shut? I love your phrase earlier on. These politicians have turned this into a boys' club, an elite boys' club. Is the door not shut, my brother?
They want to shut the door, but we should not allow them. And that is why some of us are very passionate about Peter Obi. In my own party, some of the leaders were asking for money. But that's where we are today as a country. So for me, it's not a problem. It's not peculiar to my party. If you go and check out the political parties, they're doing it.
Of course.
So it has become the norm. So, and my own take is, if I have to give you this money to get a ticket for a new party that I'm going to sell in my senatorial and help popularize, and I give you this money, where will he account? How will he help the party? For people like Peter Obi, people say, Peter Obi should have formed his own party and all that. He tried. He tried. We spoke about forming a party and not letting anybody know he's involved with me. And I tried. A former colleague, chairman, Committee on Electoral Matters, and we will call Committee on INEC, introduced me to a professor in INEC. I went to see the professor, and he directed me on how to go about it. I went, collected the forms and all. Even my dear friend and brother, Kenneth Okonkwo, I discussed with him how far I have gone, and he said I should send the forms. I sent the forms to him and all that. I think there were over 100 associations that wanted to be political parties. But INEC won't register them. And by law, as soon as you meet the criteria, they should register you. That's how APC was registered. Because they threatened the government then that they have met every criteria to be registered. But when it came to this one, they didn't do it. So when people say Peter Obi didn't try, and the man tried. So the point I'm making is, some of us will have to stand up and say, no, I won't give you money. I'm amply qualified. I'm qualified. to get this ticket, and I have done everything I need to do to get it. If it's money, go with it. That is how we can begin to build the society we believe in. You cannot, it's not only in the National Assembly that you will change things. I was there before and I did my bit. So for everyone, like Peter Obi will say, he doesn't give shishi. It doesn't mean that he doesn't spend money. I mean, you can see him spend a lot of his own personal money. But the one that will begin to give you on the side for doing nothing, no. So as we begin to come together as a people of like mind to say, look, this road we are traveling is not taking us anywhere. So let's build that consensus to say, look, this is the right way to go. As many of us that can come out to say this is the right way to go, and then we push, we will get there. If we are waiting for somebody to come and change it for us, who? It will not happen. Because, okay, now look at people stealing money, and then maybe you send children abroad to go and school, and you are here, you can be killed any day. Not because they are targeting you, because everybody is on rampage. It can even be that son, it can even be that daughter that went overseas to school and is in the country and wants to go and see old friends and will be killed on the street. So what have you achieved? You have achieved nothing. So the earlier we begin to talk to ourselves, and especially the elites, send messages home. These people say they will buy votes. They are starting up money to buy votes in 2027. You control your family because by virtue of the fact that you assist them, financially. There are people that a whole community will respect because you did a road or give them light or give them water. Send money home and say, on election day, this is the way you will vote. They will listen to you. My own state, there's almost no family you don't have anybody abroad in diaspora. And then the diasporas are not with this government. Because why are they suffering abroad? I'm sure you have family members, you have friends. We have lived outside this country. There's no rest for you. You are working around the clock to be able to pay your rent and manage. In all that, people are still sending messages from home. They are nowhere, no good hospitals. Their roof is leaking. Children can't go to school. And you are appealing yourself to assist them. If you send message home to say, look, this is the person to vote, you must vote for, they will listen to you. So we must come together. And the earlier we do that, the better. And if we come together as one, about the scripture in the Bible, I don't know where it is exactly, I can't remember where it is exactly, when the people came together, the Tower of Babel.
The Tower of Babel.
They were going to meet God.
Yeah.
Because
Genesis
they were
11.
in one accord. And God even said, if we leave this world, they will come. And he
Scattered
them with
their
their
language. Yeah.
They take Calabama, bring
Genesis
block,
11.
you will not carry hammer. That's why they did not go. So we must come together in one accord and say no more. If we do that, this government will be out on election day before 12 noon.
Like I said, my brother Sergius, I like your optimism. And like you said, one thing we can never lose is hope and faith. Yeah. I also love too, just like Paul said. Anyway, part of the issue bedeviling this society is the role the judiciary is playing now. Many have expressed great disappointment in the current state of the judiciary as being a great letdown, because the popular cliche is that the judiciary is the last hope of the common man or just the regular person. But nowadays, because if you have electoral disputes and you hope to go to the courts to get, succor, but then somebody comes from somewhere, and plays one joker and then gets, snatches injustice from the jaws of justice, if there's anything of the sort. So, referencing the NDC, for instance, how is the NWC dealing with all this plethora of court cases? How is your NWC trying to manage it? People like you, elders of the party, how are you trying to manage all of this?
I think there is a group that came from let's say senatorial or my constituency. I think I had a came day before yesterday. They called me and they have spoken to me like a month ago that they were going to come as a group to come and protest to the national leader and all.
On your behalf?
On my behalf and other things
other issues.
And against our so-called leader. And I said to them, don't worry. People have emerged. Let's support them, Then, day before yesterday, they called me. They were already in Abuja now. that they're going to meet the national leader.
They didn't. They still came to Abuja.
In the night. So this was not like during the day and they said they are on their way.
Yes.
They told me they're in Abuja.
Wow.
And they started giving phone to one another like that. But the guy that called me was not among those that has spoken to me before. So, but he knows my position on this matter. And I said, okay, I wish you guys well. And that was all. But the next day, somebody sent me a message. They came and they didn't meet the national leader. They met the vice chairman, South, and he told them this. He told them to come back. Bottom line, they blocked them from seeing the national leader. And maybe they would have gone back now. But I told them, just forget about this matter. Let's go and work for the party. And that would be my advice across the country. Maybe for me, my focus is on delivering Peter Obi as the next president of Nigeria. Because I believe that's where we are going to reset this country. I had used this word before, that the only man that has the passcode or the password to reset this country is Mr. Peter Gregory Obi. So if our focus is on delivering that man, we will not be fighting over whatever anybody did to me and all that. We'll go back home. It's our party. Let's work together and then get victory. Because if we are going to be complaining about somebody took money from me, and in any case, you offered it. They didn't put a gun to your head. They asked me for money, and I could afford that money, but I just felt it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So that would be my appeal. No matter what the issues are, just forget about it. For the sake of Peter Obi and the leadership of the party, let that be a sacrifice. Move on. Because we have hope of a greater tomorrow where we'll have somebody to correct all these injustices that's been going on. Because look at the biggest challenge we have now is the failure of the institutions. If we have a strong institution, or we have strong institutions in this country, it will fix most of the problems we have today. Just a strong institution. But we don't have that today. That's why we are talking about the issue of judiciary. Because the people we are talking about in the judiciary, they go to the same market like you and I. It's okay, you imagine you're okay, not even government. You worked in one of the oil companies. ExxonMobil, for example. People you went to school with, maybe one is a judge now. And then you just retired from Mobil. You have like 3-4 houses in Lekki. Maybe you have, maybe you're from Osun or Ogun State. You have another mansion there. You earn legitimate money to build this one because you invested over time. Your kids schooled abroad and they're all working abroad or even in the oil companies and all that. And you have this judge that's not corrupt. Typical civil servant, 5 years, he became a magistrate. Maybe 10 years after, he became a judge and all that. He can barely build a house anywhere in Nigeria.
Today.
And then the children are schooling here. ASU will go on strike every other month and all. Those children, the children of the judge and the children of the guy that retired from ExxonMobil, went to primary school together, maybe secondary school together before the other ones went abroad. And those ones are all big boys and big girls already. And your own, they are still struggling here. And you are struggling. You retire as a judge, your official residence is taken from you. You don't have a house anywhere. That's why I keep using the word, we are all going to the same market. Your children will know you're an honest man. They will respect you, daddy. But it ends there. Dad, why does it have to be like this? The other one can be a permanent secretary in the civil service and will take so much money. Will you go and contest election and become a senator? What about the children of that honest judge? So that is why we must fix the system to make it work for everybody. And the only way we can do this is to build strong institutions. That's the only way I believe we can get out of this.
What you say now is so poignant, the inequalities in our society, the deep inequalities, where the and that's the role of government, to ensure access, equal access, equitable distribution of, the resources of state to all equitably. But here's my question, my brother. Isn't that why there's such desperation to get political power in Nigeria?
That's why it is. But you see, many of us, like the other day, Peter Obi said something about he's poorer today because of his involvement with politics. And it's absolutely correct. That's the same testimony. People from my senatorial or my constituency know me when I came into politics. They know the number of cars, the convoys that will come with me into the community. After I was elected, it started coming down because I had left my job and everything. There's no money in government. What's the salary of a governor? A governor. There's no governor in Nigeria that does not have a mansion in Abuja, except Peter Obi. He stays in one place with a suite, not 5-star. I don't even think it's maybe
either former governor or current governor.
It's a room and it's a suite. The suite is not a massive one. I have stayed in suites that will be, the sitting room will be like a football pitch, you know. And I see now his running mate was a former governor who lives in an estate. You know, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong. I mean, maybe some of them signed an agreement, or that there's a law in their state for the government to build. Yes. Part of their takeaway, yes. You know, yes. To build the houses for them and all. But for him, it's nothing to him. Because I have asked myself, how does he feel when he's visiting his colleagues, former colleagues? I saw him with Saraki the other day. I've been to Saraki's house. These are former governors. And most of them, he was even in office before them. They all have houses here and mansions. So outside the pension plan or gratuity that they had to build a house for them, most of them have multiple houses here. But he stays in that hotel, and that's how a businessman should think. Dangote the other day was talking about, I think he's only building in Abuja now or just finished building. Now, why do you need a house when I don't live here? Stay in a hotel, because if you have a house here, the day you arrive, maybe you're talking about a pipe burst or one thing, and you're going to spend a night or two and you leave. That's how a typical businessman reasons. And that's how who Peter Obi is. Because no governor can, and his salary or her salary will not be enough to build a mansion in Abuja and then build in the capital city where he was a governor. And then, of course, we'll have one in the village. None. That salary can't do that. If you say, okay, take the fleet of cars that you used while you were in office, your ordinary civil service pension will not be able to maintain any of those cars. But they are living like that. And we are not asking questions. Now, we are talking about the insertions in the budget. Those things are just pulled out. Again, I dare say it's the pressure on them from the people. But you called it up, you brought it upon yourself. Because if you say you are not doing, if you don't want to vote for me, don't vote for me. I'm a public servant. I have come to serve you. And that public service, that position is on trust. The day I betrayed, I have become a traitor. If you go into government with that mentality, you will not steal. Okay, so what? If you lose the election, so what? Your life has not ended. So is that pressure that is making them do all manner of things?
Before we move on, let me ask you, because you've said a lot of glowing stuff about Mr. Peter Obi, can Peter Obi actually do it alone? Because the judiciary, the legislature, in fact, my biggest fear actually is the legislature, because the guys who are going there are not going there for anything but to amass wealth. Let me use allegedly. The parties itself, the people in the party are looking for their own bite of the cake. How far can Peter Obi go, assuming he wins, to make this change?
They say when the head is sick, the body is in trouble. You have a good head, one good head. Every other thing will fall into line. When Buhari won elections, Jonathan lost. That was when I came to Congress. Jonathan lost. But my consolation was, okay, we have a guy that's going to straighten everybody up. So that should be good for this country. But he was not able to do that. I even heard the civil servants. Most of them were sitting they were on their desk before 8 a.m. Yeah. The first 6 months, when nothing was changing, they went back to their old ways. So what does that tell you? So if you have one good head, that on inauguration day in that Eagle Square will say, my fellow Nigerians, I am not going to take bribe. My wife doesn't have any office in Aso Rock Villa. You didn't vote for my children. So nobody will come to you in my name. Not party, nobody. From execution of contract and all that. Be rest assured that I will not take a dime of your money. And he goes to Aso Rock Villa and nobody will hear any such thing. Everybody will sit up. So if you are a civil servant and you bend anything, they take you to court, charge you to court, and jail you. Just set example with one or two people, which Obasanjo tried to do. So till date, Obasanjo has been the best president we have produced. If Obasanjo could do it then at that level, why can't any other person do it? So let Peter Obi get there. Most of us will rally around him. And then he will succeed. There are so many Nigerians that want Peter Obi to succeed. More than those that do not want. Because those that want the status quo to be maintained are those that believe they are benefiting from it. But we are not traveling anywhere if we continue on this journey. So that's how we need somebody that will set the record straight. And let's begin to do the right things for once. And I can tell you for free, with Peter Obi there, there will be a massive turnaround. Because it's leadership. This man is Magafulu of Tanzania. The guy went there. They stopped borrowing. The machines that were not working in the hospitals are not, within how many weeks or whatever, they fixed all of them. Things started working. Yeah. They said COVID killed him, but I'm sure they killed him. But Peter Obi has said himself, he's ready to die for Nigeria. It's as simple as that.